because I've posted quite a few videos here recently.
Yeah.
But I think I had a few people jump on, but they were really just waiting for you. So I said, okay, well, she'll be on in a minute.
I'll be on in a minute. I am on now. I have no lovelies. I've had a few people asking me if we're doing it today, so that's
well,
really
I guess
good.
we're going to know real quick here.
Yeah. Hey, I have two lovelies on. Say hi. Merry Christmas. I hope you had a lovely time. We are all on live. I wonder if I can actually move this so that I'm actually in front of my camera rather than never being able to put anything in front of my camera because I'm such a bozo.
It takes a while to get used, and I'm still not, I don't think you ever really complete, I was going to say it takes a while to get used to it, but I don't think you ever really do, is you move one way and then it goes the other way on the screen.
You're going like this, trying to get something in front of the camera, and it's right in the middle.
And so, part of that problem is I'll go live directly over YouTube, and it's the opposite of this program. So then I really get mixed up which way to move. So it's like, okay, I'm just going to do it. And if it doesn't look right, I'll just change and that'll be it. But okay, so you made chickpeas.
I know, honestly, it's like, when you're a kid and you're trying to get used to cleaning your teeth in the mirror and you're like combing your hair that way and you can't work it out. It's like being back there again. Hi, Robin. How you doing? Robin's saying hi to you.
Oh, she said hi to me too. I think Robin's got this figured out. I think Robin knows how to be on both channels at the same time.
Excellent, Robin. You're brilliant. Hi, Kathy. How you doing? Hi, Ali. Hey, who is Alice Hood? I've got Holland on the line. Fantastic. Oh.
So you were working on chickpeas. So before you go further with your chickpea story, let me tell you my chickpea story.
Go on then, on you go.
This happened in March, end of March, maybe somewhere in there. And I was trying to do the same thing. So I set the chickpeas in the water to soak, right?
Yeah.
And I soaked them. You're supposed to soak them for like 8 hours or something. I soaked them all night.
Yeah.
And then I cooked them, or I did something wrong. I don't know what I did wrong. And what ended up happening was I put them in the fridge, and I made a whole bunch so that I could get into the chickpeas anytime I wanted to, right?
Yeah.
Well, they kind of got pushed toward the back, and I forgot about them. And then a week later, oh, yeah, I got these chickpeas, heated them up, made myself a meal, and I ate the chickpeas. And I got the worst case of food poisoning I have ever gotten. I ended up in the emergency room on IV fluids.
Oh my goodness.
And on medicines for a few days. It was awful. So I don't know what I did wrong, but I would say this: if you didn't make your chickpeas right, if you're not 100% sure, don't eat them.
Right.
Because it was awful. I ended up, 11 o'clock at night sitting in the ER with IVs going because I was extremely dehydrated. I was sick.
Oh my goodness.
And my white blood count was up. Everything was up. It looked just like food poisoning. And I don't know if it was a bacterial food. This was back in March, Chrissy. I don't know if this was a bacterial infection that I got or if it was fungal or what it was. But whatever I did with the chickpeas was a big mistake, and I have not tried to cook and make chickpeas. The only chickpeas I've eaten since then have been out of a can, because I do not want to experience that ever again. That was awful.
Oh my goodness.
The warning is, if you make chickpeas, follow the instructions to the letter and eat them fresh, because I did something wrong. Hey, Vanessa, I did something wrong. And I think it probably had to do with the fact that they sat for about a week, and I was planning it to be something that you could get into later and get some and just add to salads or whatever. But it was definitely the chickpeas, and they made me really sick. And so I've kind of avoided. I've got a bag of them, that are ready to go if I ever want to try again. But I just haven't. The DW got me some in the can so that I could have chickpeas. And I eat lots of that Sabra hummus too. I love it because you can get it with the little. I don't like the big ones. I like the little ones because they put the pine nuts in there, or they put like the garlic, the different flavors. And I'll eat half of one of those things with either some, usually with like a whole corn chip or something like that.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Delicious.
So Rob, I'm not sure if I undercooked them, overcooked them, left them too long. I don't know.
I don't know. I suspect, because some of the worst food poisoning you can get is actually from rice.
Really?
Rice is, the rice salad, out comes the rice. Right. It goes on the the buffet, and it sits out there at room temperature, and then it goes back in the fridge, and it comes out every day because it's just rice and it looks fine. It absolutely can be a real killer. When I lived in Indonesia, I would, they cooked food for me for 6 months, just the most incredible food. And I would go, I'll have some rice. And they go, tidak bagus, it's not good. And they would throw rice away if it had been sitting for a small amount of time. So I wonder if it had something to do with that, because I was going to make a chickpea recipe on Christmas Day, but I ate so many veggies that I'm glad I never got around to making it, because I wouldn't have been able to fit it in. But I thought, I'm going to use these dried chickpeas that I have. For once in my life, I'm going to actually use it. So I was all organised on Christmas Eve, and I got them out and I soaked them in water, and I looked up, because I put, the right amount in, and I thought, this is going to be massive. And so I looked up, it's like 3/4 of a cup of dried ones is the equivalent to a can. So I got all the right things out ready for my recipe, and I soaked them overnight. And then I didn't eat them. So they soaked all day Christmas Day. And then I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to cook them so that they're ready. So I rinsed them, and I looked at the pack, and I thought that it said, soak them overnight, or, 8 to 12 hours, or overnight ideally. And then boil them for, furiously for 12 minutes. And I thought, oh, wow, that's quite easy. I don't know why I've never done this before. So I was boiling them away, and then I kind of looked at them and I thought, God, they're like bullets. So I had a look at the packet, and then it said, and then simmer for 1 to 1.5 hours. And I just thought, goodness me, these are going to be like the most expensive chickpeas on the planet by the time all of that power's gone into boiling them away. So anyway, I got to 1.5 hours, and I tried one, and it was still raw and like a bullet. So in the end, they simmered for 3 hours, and then I tasted, I kept it, and they're just I must have eaten about 7 of them, I guess, in all the tastings, and they were still rock hard, but not quite that raw flavour, like a raw bean that you eat. And actually, yesterday, I paid, I think it was 8 visits to the bathroom. And I bet it was from those chickpeas.
I think you have to really know what you're doing, or be very careful with the whole making chickpeas, from the dehydrated bagged state. Yeah,
I think I don't even think I'm going to give them to the pigs. I think I'm just going to
throw those away.
All of them. I'll show you them. Look how hard they are. This is them. They've been in the fridge now. They're like in the rack. So hard. They're all going in the bin now, honestly.
That's quite similar to what I did, and put them in the fridge, and then whatever it is that's wrong with them that I did wrong, cost me big time in being sick for a couple of days and ending up in the ER. So.
Thank you for telling me that. And I'm going to show you the other thing I did with my other dried things is I'm sprouting some mung beans. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Can you see them? Oh, gosh.
Nope, gotta raise it.
Raise it up a little bit. Just about to pour water all over my keyboard. I'm so glad I didn't do that. I don't know if you can see them. Can't really see them. There they are.
Oh, yeah. There you are. Okay.
And they're starting to... Oh, look, here's one that's sprouted.
That
And
looks
you can
good.
put
Those
them
look
in your
healthy.
blender and make stuff with them. Look, that one's sprouted. Can you see the little
Yeah.
sprout
Okay.
on it?
Yeah, I see that.
So they've been soaking for like a day. Oh, lots of them are sprouting now. Oh, when they go really quickly. Look at that little
Look at
sprouty
that.
thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, I'm going to look up a
What kind of
recipe,
beans are
and
those? What
they're
kind of beans are those?
mung beans.
Mung beans.
Mung, M-U-N-G.
Num.
M for monkey.
M-U-N-G. Mung. Okay. I had that back.
Mung.
Mung beans. Interesting. Okay.
There.
Well, you have to share with. Oh, okay.
Yeah, hang on, I'm doing
Mung beans. Source of folic acid.
Yeah, this is a bit of duct tape because we've got no clips or bands here.
Okay.
So they're a good source of folic acid, which works with vitamin B12 to form healthy red blood cells used in salads. So they're really good. And you can make kind of like vegan cream cheeses if you sprout beans and then you whiz them up in your whizzer and add garlic and lemon juice and stuff like this.
Just like you might do, say, with almonds or cashews, right?
Yeah.
You can make creams out of those as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have a little look
bag,
and come up with something that I can make here.
I think what that bag says, it's a good source of folate or folic acid that works with B12, so it's not a B12 source.
No, it says it works with it, that's an interesting bit of information, isn't it?
It is, because it doesn't mean I don't think it means what you initially thought it might have meant. I don't want to be presumptive here, but I think what they're saying is when you want healthy red blood cells, everybody knows you need iron, and a lot of people know that you need vitamins, and two of the most important vitamins to prevent a certain kind of anemia called pernicious anemia, also known in the medical world as megaloblastic anemia, is that you have to have plenty of folate and B12. They do work together. The bag is right. They do work together. But it's not a source in and of itself, or a good source in and of itself, I don't believe, of B12.
So it has the folic acid, which if you take a B12 or you eat foods with B12 in it, will help you to form those healthy red blood cells.
Yes.
Excellent.
That is correct.
Right, so the moral of the story is, however much your tin of chickpeas is, it's a lot cheaper than A, food poisoning and hospital bills, and B, the amount of power and fuels it needs to make them even vaguely edible. Goodness, you won't believe I've got a whole box of dried pulses and beans and legumes. I think they're all going in the bin.
The Today Show had the younger doctor from The Doctors promoting whole plant-based diet. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear about that. Talked about getting all your protein from vegetables. Well, yay. Sounds like some people with some influence are doing good. I like to see that.
That's brilliant.
Book Lover, hi. Donna, hi. Mentioned the days after Christmas and I'm not knowing what to call them. It's the octave of Christmas. Interesting. I said earlier that I didn't know what you called that time period between Christmas and New Year's. It's kind of like the donut hole. You don't. There's really sort of like this. Some people get the whole time period off, and some people like me, and of course, if you're a first responder, if you're a physician, if you're a law enforcement officer, if you're a paramedic or you're working in an ER or a hospital, we don't get these days off automatically. Fortunately, in a clinic, I get more days off than I used to when I had hospital duty. I don't do hospital duty anymore, but I used to. And Christmas Day is just another day in the hospital. It is. It's unfortunate. It just is. So. What you try to do is you try to rotate with your friends and say, okay, I'll work New Year's if you'll cover Christmas, and then you get Easter and I'll get Thanksgiving, and you just sort of try to work the best you can. But otherwise, it's business as usual, right? So I was wondering, well, what do you call this downtime that a lot of people have? So Donna is telling us it's called the octave of Christmas. It's interesting. It does seem like an odd time. I had a medical question from Chrissy, who's on frequently. She said, my legs from the knees down are looking like a blotchy, reddish purple. They aren't cold, but a little sore. A doctor said in passing it looked like venous insufficiency. What is this? Well, okay, so in general, venous insufficiency it's not like Venus the planet. It's like veins, but doesn't matter spelling. We don't count spelling here. We're okay. Basically, venous insufficiency means that you have blockages or you have poor circulation in the lower extremity, and it shows up on the vein side, not the arterial side. And it can lead to edema or swelling and blotchy-looking lower extremities. But generally, unless you ate something unusual, what I usually see after the holidays, whether it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever, is that people tend to get into real salty foods, and they retain a bunch of fluid, and then secondarily, they end up with the swelling in the lower extremities first, but then it can build up in the abdomen and in the lungs, and we end up in a condition we call congestive heart failure. Especially some of my older patients, I have to warn them to stay away from too much of those kinds of foods. The big culprit is the honey baked spiral sliced hams. They're super salty, and they tend to get people who do have some circulatory compromise, either from age or illnesses. It tends to get them in trouble with fluid overload or a volume overload condition. So Chrissy, if you want to email me a picture, I might be able to tell you more. It sounds to me like you're having a temporary peripheral edema issue. So email me a picture if you like, and I can probably tell you more. But you can read, there's a lot of information online about vein centers and what they do to help people with venous insufficiency in general. Sometimes they can fix, if you have a true vein problem, a lot of times we have laser procedures that can be done in the vein centers where this can be corrected. But I think if it's just popped up like out of nowhere, it's probably more related to something you ate recently, and my guess would be something that is just going to be temporary unless you keep eating whatever it was that you got into. Okay, so send me a pic if you want. You are on a heart-healthy diet, and you used to swell the legs often. Aha, so we have a clue here that this is probably related to your previous condition and could be that you got into some salt, something that probably is causing you to retain a bunch of fluid temporarily. And so I think that if you're careful with your fluid intake and if you're on medications that help you to eliminate excess fluid, they'll do their job if you cut your fluids back for just a little while, just a couple of days until things get back to normal. Okay, hope that helps. Send me a pic if you want.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Robin was saying that food poisoning can result from raw or undercooked beans, including chickpeas. And she said uncooked rice contains spores of Bacillus cereus, a bacterium that can cause food poisoning. Spores survive when the rice is cooked. If rice is left standing at room temperature, spores grow into bacteria. So that kind of talks about that, as we were saying. Thanks for that, Robin. Carol is saying, hi, Carol, and hi, Vanessa, as well. And hello, Kathy. Carol is saying, post-Christmas health is really GIGO. I don't know what GIGO is, G-I-G-O for me, a.k.a. garbage in, garbage out. Help me to get started, please, as in a loop of rubbish eating. Carol in Hampshire. You have certainly come across the right channel, because this is what we do here. We help people to make changes in their eating habits so that they can look forward to feeling better, moving better, and if you've got weight to lose, losing weight. But it's more about getting healthy. And
you get healthy, the weight will take care of itself, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. Get healthy and you lose what you need to get healthy to lose weight, not the other way around.
Right. So make a lifestyle change and then the weight comes off. So you don't want to go on a weight loss diet, right? Because we know those all fail.
Yeah.
That's been proven. So the thing that really works to be healthier is not to try to lose weight. The thing that works to be healthier is to change your lifestyle so that you are healthier and the weight will come off on its own. You don't have to worry about that. That'll happen. So if you're just wanting to get started and you're looking for a tool to help you get you motivated and to give you a whole lot of information about what we're talking about, You know what book I'm going to recommend, right? Proteinaholic.
Yeah.
So, Doctor, I need to get down there and talk to my friend, my colleague who wrote that book, so I can thank him and get an autographed copy and let him know that we're promoting it all over the world for him.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. So that book's called Proteinaholic, and that's a good one to read. So basically what we're doing, Carol, is plant-based whole food eating, and we're also fasting twice a week on a Monday and on a Thursday. Some people are doing different days depending on what's going on. And there are a whole load of health benefits to fasting, which actually I will post in the comments. Not the comments, I will post in the description when this video goes up live, so that you'll be able to look those up if you haven't heard of those. But plant-based, you're just going to feel a lot better. So the idea, Carol, is to kind of, I don't know what kind of food you're eating at the moment, but I know it's really hard at Christmas because there's so many tempting things there and everyone tends to overeat, way too salty, rich foods, lots of processed sugars and stuff like that. And we end up by the end of the year, after the final New Year's Eve party, feeling absolutely hideous at the beginning of our year. So what a lot of people are doing here, and actually I've had loads of private messages, Jack,
Yes.
that people are busily, they've got juicers, they've got food processors, some have got some new chopping knives. People are going out to buy ingredients ready to start the new year off, to go fully plant-based, which
That's
will be
wonderful.
fantastic because it's also 1st of January, it'll be Veganuary, which is, you'll find it all over Facebook, those of you who are on Facebook. And it's kind of like a worldwide thing where everybody goes vegan for 30 days and there'll be tons of recipes, motivation. There'll also be information about animals as well, and the health benefits. So, it's a really good time to start, Carol. And, you know, we come on every Thursday, at midnight, UK time. You're in the UK. Oh, you might actually be Hampshire, somewhere else. Are you in the UK, Carol? Let me know. But we're every Monday and every Thursday, 6 o'clock.
Well, wait
Texas
a minute.
time.
Let's talk about that. We were talking before about changing our days.
Yeah, we were, weren't we?
Let's bring that up, but I want to answer one question. I'm supposed to tell you.
Yeah.
Beverly Felder says, please tell Sue my Proteinaholic book is being searched for by UPS.
Oh, no.
And she's in upstate New York. I recommend the book because it has a lot of great references and so forth in it if you really want to get deeper into the topic. But they do have an Audible version if you want to just listen to it, like books on tape kind of thing, for $3, I think it is, on
Really?
Amazon. So if you like to listen.
I'm going to download it as soon as I come off this call.
Yeah. Let's see. Christy says she ordered it for herself, received it last week. It's been her holiday reading. Also got a new Ninja and obsessed with it.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with mine.
And I got something interesting for Christmas. I got an air fryer.
Ooh.
I have to admit, I didn't know such a thing existed.
I've heard of it, but I have no idea. Tell us what it is.
It fries without grease. You put the food in it and turn it on, and it uses air to fry. So you don't have to have any added vegetable oils or oils of any kind, and you can fry. I haven't used it yet, but you'll when I do. Video
demo.
Oh yeah, man, that sounds good. I like that idea.
Oh my goodness, Wink might like that. We have a halogen oven, which uses a halogen light, and then it kind of, the fan swirls the heat around, and that's amazing for jacket potatoes, anything fried, kind of roasted. It cooks everything actually. But an air fryer, I think, is something different.
The one that I got, I think, is one of these 10-quart sizes, but they have them a lot smaller. Like there's one at Best Buy here that's a 5-liter analog air fryer for $49.99.
Wow!
So they're not terribly expensive.
Ooh.
And
You will have to be our product demo man. A new role for you. Product demo man hat.
Look into that, yeah. Demolition, more like it, probably for me in cooking. I'm more about cut something up and eat it.
How funny. Oh, Ninja makes one, Robin is saying. Hi, okay. Becky, sweetheart. Hi, Debs. Right. We were talking about doing some different days for our lives, weren't we?
Well, we were talking about it for a couple of reasons. One, we really feel like people in the UK are getting shortchanged because it's midnight when we start. It's midnight. Yeah. You know, it's 30 minutes past midnight. You're already tomorrow there. So that's a concern of mine, number one. Number two concern is you. We're concerned about you and being able to have a more regular schedule maybe where you don't have to plan on being up so late. And so we want to be sensitive to that. And so, we're actually, this is a group discussion, and so maybe everybody one of my ideas was we could move to like a Wednesday, Sunday time, and we could do Wednesday. See, Wednesday's the day I get done early with clinic, and so I could actually go as early, say, as 2:00 my time on Wednesdays, which would put you at 8:00 your time.
Yeah.
Which is a lot more reasonable, and if I hurry, I could even do a 1:00, which would be 7:00, which would be like fantastic.
Yeah.
And then maybe on Sunday we could do an afternoon, which would work maybe great for everyone. I don't know. Those are just ideas. I don't want to do Saturdays because Saturday is my Sabbath down resting day and fishing day, and I don't want to schedule.
That's your play day.
That's my day.
That's your day.
That's my day for me to decompress, to regenerate, and all that stuff. That's right. And Beverly is saying we don't want to burn you out, and that's a concern that we have.
A lot of people are worried about because they can see me online. Because when these chats finish, I am so hyped up and excited. It's just like nobody comes home from a busy day of work and gets straight into bed. You have your evening, you wind down, you have some food, you watch some telly. Well, I don't really watch much telly, but, you do things for a few hours and then you go to sleep. So I do things for a few hours and that leads me to go to bed at about 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'm doing that twice a week. And then the hangover from that is that I stay up late the next night. So I'm getting into a pattern. Although as you can see, I'm full of energy and fine.
I see that, and I see you're super energetic, and I know you're dealing with this well, but I'm also worried about your family.
Yeah. Hello. That was my son going like that. Hello.
Can I
okay, so
that statement?
Can you hear him?
What did he say?
He says, "Can I agree with you on that statement?"
Okay, all right. So I think we hit a nerve there with the family because, families are important.
He said, I would quite like my mother awake in the morning to take me to school.
I think that's a great idea.
I always take him to school in pajamas. Come home again.
Why not?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So the other suggestion is that we just do one channel at a time. So what we could do, if and you and I can talk more about this separately or offline if you like, but if we pick, let's say we pick Wednesdays and Sundays, then we could do one of those days we would do just on my channel and one of those days we would just do on your channel. Because I think everybody kind of wants to be together as opposed to, split out. Yeah. And I'm totally okay with that if
I'm okay with that. I think the reason we did on both channels is that if we're on my channel and somebody asks a medical question, you can't reply as you, can you? Because it was all, it replies as me.
Right.
And then I'm then appearing to answer a medical question that I'm not qualified for. So we could maybe work that out. And Robin's saying, yeah, actually, she's on both channels. So she suggested that. V says it sounds good.
We can still do it this exact same way, where we're both who we are, but just broadcast only on one channel.
Yeah. Yeah, we could certainly try that.
At least I think that would work.
Yeah. We could do that.
All we can do is try.
Yeah, we can try that. I know some of the people that follow me don't follow you, so we'll have to sort that out. And then some of your people, we've got separate, because when I come and chat to you on your channel, there's a whole load of people I've never seen their names before, so they're not on my channel, and vice versa. So we can get you swapping about. Hi Valerie, how you doing? Don't worry, it's lovely that you've joined us. There's no being late here. We've been talking about chickpeas and the downfall of them, and that you can get terrible food poisoning from them. But replay the beginning of that. And we're just talking now about maybe doing some different days so that I don't have to do midnight as a tryout. In fact, Debs is saying it sounds good. Why don't we just try it? So, like,
well, I think we should. I think we could make it like our change of schedule, change of the year kind of thing. And Bonnie brings up an interesting question or an interesting comment. She says she loves our group, but 2 hours is a big commitment.
Yes,
and
it is.
One of the things that we agree, we think 2 hours for some people is way too long.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the reasons why we usually try after 1 hour to just take a break, take 5 minutes, and then close out the discussion and then open a new one following that, so that if you want to watch at a different time, you don't have to go through 2 hours. And we don't always go 2 hours anyway.
No. And I think, but when we click off, usually we lose half the audience as well. But a lot of people don't come back on, or they come back on a lot later. So it's difficult because you'll have so many questions, and it always goes by in a flash. But when you see like a 2 hour video, it's just like, it's kind of counterproductive to actually want to click on it, because you like, I can't watch that now.
I don't have 2 hours, or I don't have, and sometimes an hour.
Yeah. So maybe maybe we can play about with maybe being more like 1 hour, and actually, I mean, we're going to be having some guests on. I've got some people lined up, and I think one of my lovelies is introducing me to someone who's a vegan kind of coach. That's a friend of hers that helps people to, like to transfer to vegan. And I'm going to have a chat with her and hopefully get her on here in the new year. So when we have guests, they tend to go a bit longer, don't they? But yeah, we let's play about with it, because, it is a big commitment to be on for 2 hours. And lots of people do dip in and dip out. So what is it? It's Thursday now. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Shall we try this Sunday? What date is Sunday? Is that New Year's Day? I've no idea.
No. New Year's Day falls on Tuesday, I believe. But yes. Sunday will work for me. Sunday, we could go. If we do Sunday, I would like for it to be a little bit later. It's going to have to be later for me.
What kind of time?
And so that kind of works. We go a little bit later on Sunday and a little bit earlier on Wednesday. And really, the reason I keep mentioning Sunday and Wednesday, because those are the days that work for me. It's
got to work for you as well.
Because Friday could work for me, but if we do Friday, then we say, okay, what's the second day going to be? And then I'm back to Wednesday, and then it seems like Wednesday and then again Friday are too close together. So I feel like that's almost like 2 days in a row. Or just one day off.
No,
so that seems too close.
And will you swap your fasting to those days, or will you just keep your fasting Monday and Thursday?
That's interesting. I'll have to think about that. I don't think we necessarily have to be fasting on the days that we talk about do this.
No.
So I would probably keep my same fasting days, but I would consider
changing. And then when we talk about
it.
food, everyone isn't just hanging because they're all fasting.
Does that mean we could have a snack while we're discussing too,
Yeah. This is the hummus I made. And Valerie, it doesn't mean no hummus. It means no getting those dried beans, boiling them for 500 hours and finding they're still like bullets and then getting food poisoning from them, which Jack did. And I think tasting these to see if they were still not cooked was the reason I had a bit of a funny tummy. And I never have a funny tummy. I'm like cast iron stomach woman here. So so hummus is very much in the frame, but I think we're choosing tinned chickpeas from now on because it's just way too much of a faff. Hi Nancy, I hope you had a good Christmas too. We both had a lovely Christmas, didn't we, Jack?
Yes, wonderful Christmas, thank you. Let's keep our fasting days because we talk about nothing but food on here. That's what Chrissy's suggestion is.
Yes, that's right. And Vanessa says, well, if they care about their health, 2 hours isn't too long. Oh, bless you, sweetheart. Well, I know other people do. They stay on with us, and they're absolutely lovely. Valerie does keto fasts. Excellent. So you fast as well.
I don't know what a keto fast is. What does that mean? I would like to know what that means.
Yeah, what is a keto fast, Valerie? Let us know. Hi, Elena, sweetheart. Of course, they're 30 seconds behind, so when we ask a question and then wait, it's just... So, yeah, I made, here, is Wink coming to say hello? He's standing, there's Wink. Say Merry Christmas. We've got 16 of our lovelies on.
Hey, here's my man. What you drinking there, buddy?
I've got some Stella today.
Stella Artois, Belgian beer.
There we go.
There we go. The best beer in the world comes from Belgium, she said.
So if we pick
ketogenic fast, that's what Valerie says. It's ketogenic.
Well, does that mean she's fasting or not fasting? See, when somebody says ketogenic to me, that means that they're eating a very low carbohydrate diet. That's what ketogenic means to me. So when somebody says they're doing a ketogenic fast, I'm confused because ketogenic is a way of eating and fasting is a way of not eating. So I'm concerned. I don't understand. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Well,
okay.
Beverly, thank you. You're a sweetheart for wanting to make a donation. I appreciate that. And I'll look at that later and see if there's a way we can do that where if somebody wanted to do that, they could. I think because of the software that we're using to split screen and share this, it may be causing some interference with that. So, anyway.
Elena says, Wink, make sure you drink all the medicine drink. Wink is the worst patient ever. He's had a cold. So I give him my amazing medicine drink, which works hands down every time. So he feels a lot better after 2 drinks, then decides he's better and just drinks beer and rum and wine and all that business. And then he's like, Mom, he's going, it's Christmas. It's like, yeah, well, have a medicine drink. And then so today he's sneezing, going, oh, I don't know what's happening. My nose is running again. And I'm like, you haven't had a medicine drink. So I've given one and it's stopped running. It's just like, Anyway, he's having one before bed if I have to stick a blimmin' funnel down his mouth and shove it in.
Okay, so if somebody says they're doing a keto fast, that's not a fast. They're just eating a keto diet to do it. And Chrissy's asking me, Dr. G, what do I think of the keto diet? Her doctor is pushing it big time. I think it's total trash.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is. I think ketogenic is absolutely garbage as a way of eating. It's not a sustainable lifestyle. I think it's something that's in the news. It's junk science. It's a fad. It comes and goes. It goes all the way back to the Atkins nonsense from years ago. Back in the 90s, we went through a big Atkins phase where you could even go into the restaurants and they had Atkins items in the fast food restaurants for a while before people. It's as my folks across the pond might say, it's pure rubbish. I never get to say rubbish, but I don't like it. It's not safe. And I've seen people come in that have been on these keto diets. Oh, I'm doing great. I've lost 15 pounds, doc, and I'm here for and then I get their labs back and call them up and say, you have a choice. You can either stop doing whatever ridiculous diet you're doing, or you can come in and get on medications because your cholesterol's 300 and your triglycerides are 500 and you're destroying your vasculature. So you decide. I don't think it's safe. That's my
right.
idea.
Valerie is saying she lost 100 pounds, and the thing is, you'd lose 100 pounds on the Slim Fast, you'd lose 100 pounds on the Atkins, you'd lose 100 pounds on the F plan.
Right?
But they're all diets, and we absolutely 100% know that diets don't work. The diet industry doesn't want it to work. What happens is you lose your weight, you get to your target weight, then you come off the diet and you go back to your old eating plan or part of your old eating plan, and then the weight piles back on with another 5%, 10% on top. So these diet systems do work. Slimming Club works, but
all of them work.
They all work until
and then it comes back.
And then it comes back. And the keto diet is a version of the Atkins diet. It's really heavily loaded with meat. And we know that causes, heart problems and diabetes and obesity.
Insulin resistance. It leads to increased risk of diabetes, all kinds of problems. So we're definitely not in favor of any kind of weight loss diet, number one, and we're not in favor of these keto plans, number two. This is a fad, and it will go away. Yeah. And then come back again and under a different name. See, that's what they do. They go away and then come back. The reason these are so attractive is people believe that they can eat all of these foods that they want to eat as long as they don't eat carbohydrates. And they can eat all the things they enjoy and they feel good and they get to eat the stuff they like and they lose weight, yada, yada, yada. Well, it is a very unhealthy way of eating. It's not sustainable. And as soon as you go off of it, because you're in the habit of eating all you want, guess what you're going to do? You're going to continue to eat all you want, and you're going to gain all the weight back plus some. And that's what happens with weight loss diets. They're not healthy. Yeah. Ketosis, I'm in ketosis right now because I'm fasting. Okay? But when I do eat, I'm not eating animal products. I'm eating plant products, whole food, plant-based, okay?
Right. So Valerie is saying her doc is on board with her. She gets regular blood work and it's a way of life. She is a diabetic and she's got a little sad face now because obviously she's following what her doctor's telling her. So, not bashing you over the head at all. That's not the intention here. It's just to kind of just let you know. I mean, I don't know if you're following the absolute keto diet and you're fasting, then just look at what you're eating. It's very meat-based. For example, like I think it's Slimmer's World or Weight Watchers World, or I've never joined one of those things, but they have a whole meat meal plan where you have a system of points and cheat days. So if you want to go out on a Friday on the lash, which means go out and drink loads, and us British like to go out for the pure intention of getting drunk, not ending up drunk as a result of an evening, but we go out with the intention to get smashed. So if you go out on the lash, you're going to be wanting to drink beer and wine. And so they save up their points all week so that they can just use all those points on the Friday night and get lashed. And you see, and then they'll like, oh, today I'm allowed pizza, or oh, today I'm allowed a cream cake because I've saved these points. And what that does is it tells you that it's okay to eat cream cakes, it's okay to go out on the lash and drink a load of beer. And then, so what happens is when you reach your target weight, you haven't actually cut any of the bad foods out of your diet. You're still in your head thinking of them as treats. Treats should be, not should, I don't like the word should, but treats aren't processed cake, full of all awful things and animal products and, preservatives and ingredients you can't spell, you can't say, you can't buy them on the shelf, a giant, I've heard someone say, when I've got to my target weight, I'm going to Kentucky Fried Chicken, I'm going to get myself a big box. And it's just like, you see, that's a whole reason why diets don't work, because your mindset isn't being changed. You're viewing the whole thing as something you're doing without, as a sacrifice. It's a short term. I'm getting into that dress for the wedding, so I've got to follow this, and I've got these points, and at the wedding I'm going to eat so much that I'm just going to need to be stretched at home. It doesn't change your way of life, and what we're doing here is an eating lifestyle which will change your way of life. We've got Beverly. I don't know if Beverly, are you on? Beverly was like 4 or 5 weeks into plant-based. She accidentally slipped over and kind of hoovered up a chicken sandwich, and 15 minutes later she threw up because her body didn't want it anymore. So she's just over chicken sandwiches now, from a shop. And there's another one of my lovelies who had some cheese. She just fancied some cheese, and she hadn't eaten any for a long time, and it made her feel so painful and bloated, and she was just in agony all day that she's just like done with cheese. This is what we're advocating here, something that will actually change your eating habits for what you're supposed to be eating, so that it won't be a struggle. You won't view it like, next week I'm going to have a cream cake whether it kills me or not. You won't want the cream cake. You'll want a pile of kale, and you'll want something really that your body loves. So that's what we're doing here, and I hope, I hope that kind of makes it clear, especially to anyone who's not commented that's on here that doesn't know what we're doing. It's just like, this is why diets don't work, because they don't change your mindset. They don't retrain your body to tell you what it doesn't want. You don't want to eat that spaghetti carbonara anymore, because the thought of it just makes you go, oh, I don't know, I don't want that. Give me a salad, give me some green vegetables, that kind of thing. So, sorry, I talked for a long time there. There's loads of
No, I was looking through some of the settings and so forth for my live streaming, and it turns out that when we go this way, as opposed to me just doing a regular live discussion, like if I just go live alone like you do on it doesn't activate all the normal settings. So I think I need to do some work on that to fix that. But that's anyway. I was wandering through and answering some other questions and stuff too. So no, you talk all you want.
No, that's fine. I just kind of wanted to go on. I just wanted to kind of illustrate why these things don't work. The whole mindset of cheat days and points so that you can gorge. That's why you got out of shape and unfit in the first time, because you did all of that. And then there's a diet plan that kind of restricts you. I'm doing without, but I've got this cheat day and I'm going to have a whole pumpkin pie. Woo, woo, I've saved all my points this month so I can go nuts at Christmas. It means there's no change in your whole mindset. And health is 80% mindset. And the rest is what you put in your mouth.
So I have a question from Tamaris, and she says she's first 30 days of your supplement and no results. Should I keep at it for another 30? Well, first of all, if you have taken it for 30 days and you haven't noticed any results, I'm going to tell you there's something wrong. And usually it means that you're on a medication that's causing fatigue, and the Meta-7's not able to overcome that. I've had some people who've taken it for 90 days and then didn't feel that they were getting any results, and then so they stopped it, and then they had no energy. And sometimes it comes on so quickly that, or so slowly, that the change isn't as noticeable. Some people take it on the first day and they send me a message, my goodness, I feel like a new person. So everybody's different. I got to tell you, it took me 13 days before I noticed Meta-7 was working for me. I did not notice it. It came on. I didn't even notice it. My darling wife told me, are you ever going to get out of the barn and come to bed because it's 11 o'clock and you're still out there tinkering? And that's when I realized, wait, I've got more energy than usual. And that's when, the reason I ask about, are you taking a multivitamin with it? Because it's important that you take a multivitamin every day, number one. Because if you have a vitamin deficiency and you are not taking a multivitamin to correct that, and you're only taking Meta 7 only has the 7 most important ingredients that are important and necessary for the handling of glucose and energy at the cellular level. You still have to have your regular A to Z multivitamins. So if you're missing out on nutrition because you're eating regular Western food, and you're taking Meta 7 and you haven't noticed anything, then you could have another problem. That's number one. Number two, make sure that if you haven't had your thyroid checked by your doctor, you might need to get that done. Number three, if you're on a number of medications, you might want to send me the list so I can look at it and I can let you know if you have a potential medicine that's causing the problem. Because almost everybody that takes Meta 7 feels energetic. They feel a natural effervescent energy, okay? So it is not a 100% effect. I don't always know why some people don't get the effect. And that's just being honest with you guys. No supplement's going to be 100%. And so some people, they try the 30 days and they don't really notice anything. I don't have an explanation for them. Sometimes they already have fantastic nutrition and they're already getting everything in Meta 7, and it just adding more doesn't really make a difference for them. So some people are already very, very healthy. The vast majority of people, though, they do notice a big difference. And so there you go. Some people, they're on medications, again, that prevent them from noticing the effects. So if you're on a list of medicines, and you want to email those to me, I can give you my opinion as to whether or not they may or may not be influencing your benefit. When I developed Meta 7, I did not develop it for people who were on numerous medications. I developed it for the persons who we could not discover a reason why they were fatigued. They would come in, they would tell me, I'm tired all the time. Why am I tired all the time? I don't understand. And we would run the tests. We would do the sleep studies. We'd make sure they didn't have sleep apnea. We would make sure that they didn't have a thyroid problem, that they weren't anemic, for example, or have some other issue, depression, for example. We would look at all of these things, and they were still dealing with fatigue, and I wanted to have something for them to try. And so that's when we developed Meta 7, and those persons were helped significantly to the point where we felt like, hey, we've really got something here. We need to manufacture this. We need to get this out there for people. And so every person's an individual. Each person's metabolism is a little bit different. But I can tell you that, we have people that have reordered Meta 7 over 30 times. And they're not ordering it because they love me. They're ordering it because it works. I can understand somebody trying it because they like what we do. They like our videos and those kinds of things, and we do get that. And I have people that just order things like our vitamin D and our multivitamin because they want to support our channel. And I really appreciate that because all of that helps us. But Meta 7 in and of itself, if you try it and it doesn't work for you, then I'll be the first one to own up and say, it didn't work for you, and I can't tell you why. But many times, if I get a medicine list or a history of an individual and I have a chance to look through all of that and ask a few questions, generally we can figure out what's really going on. So, Tamaris, if you will be so kind as to do that for me, I will help you. Let's see. I'm going to put my email address on here for you. You can feel free to email me your list of medicines. I'll keep that confidential, and I'll email you back and see if we can kind of figure this out for you. Okay. Beverly has an interesting comment. She says, if you're new, don't beat yourself up. If you need to eat meats and things like that, then do it. Then if you're really trying, it's going to be you won't want it eventually. It feels so freeing not to be controlled. That's absolutely true. Yeah. Some people can't make that immediate switch over to a whole food plant-based diet. They're just not able to. Yeah. They have an addiction, or who knows what, for whatever reason, they feel that they need meat, and it's so ingrained.
Their whole life has been eating meat as part of every meal, so it is understandable, and it feels extreme, doesn't it? When you
it does. It feels wrong, and so for those of you, you may want to just turn one meal a day into a whole food plant-based meal, and then in time try going to 2 with just some animal products, maybe 1 meal a day, and then make that conversion when you feel more comfortable with it. But there's a lot of people out there that will tell you it's unhealthy not to eat meat, and they're absolutely wrong. And there's this is not just an opinion by me. It's not just an opinion by Sue. We have volumes of research that back up what we're saying. Yeah. Volumes and volumes and volumes. And that's why I like that Proteinaholic book, because probably a quarter of that book at the end are references to research articles and other literature that's out there that this has been studied for many, many, many years, and how unhealthy and how illness causing animal products can become. And we look at our society today, and we look at this obesity epidemic and the diabetes epidemic and the this increase that we're seeing in autoimmune diseases. And why are people not healthy? We're eating more and more animal products every decade. The average weight of a man in the United States of America in the 1960s was 165 pounds. The average weight of a man today in the United States is over 210 pounds. What's wrong? What's changed? We're eating more processed foods. Yes. We're eating more animal products. Our weight is going up by 10 pounds a decade. That's almost a pound a year on average we're gaining, and we're telling ourselves to eat more of the things that are causing the problem. It doesn't make any sense, and I'm glad to hear that we've got people going on TV now and are saying things like, look, you need to consider a whole food plant-based diet. You need to start getting away from all these animal products because these are causing the problem. And so there you go. And I had one more thing, Sue, and I think we're going to be almost due for our break.
Yeah.
Let me see. Seeker, you asked me a question. I'm going to come up and see if I can find it. No, don't be embarrassed. Kale goes right through you. Does the body get used to it after a while? For most people, it will, but you may have a problem with kale and may want to just leave that out of your diet. The good thing about whole food plant-based is you have literally hundreds and hundreds of choices of things to eat. You're not limited to the big 4. And I get people that ask me about what I eat, and I look at them and I say, well, what do you eat? And they say, well, I eat all the regular stuff. And I say, oh, so you pick between the 4 animals, right? You either every night you decide which animal is going to be slaughtered so you can eat it. You're either having pig, chicken, cow, or fish, right? I mean, don't you make that choice? It was a joke at my house for the longest time. I'd say, honey, which is it going to be, pig, chicken, cow, or fish? Because that's all we're eating. Pig, chicken, cow, or fish. That was the main thing, and then we might decorate it with a little veggies, or some potatoes or something, but it was pig, chicken, cow, or fish.
Yeah.
So we're asking you to make a significant change to get away from pig, chicken, cow, and fish, and not just the flesh of those animals, but everything you squeeze out of them too, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about dairy products. We're talking about a link between milk and osteoporosis. That you're being lied to. You're told to drink more milk for healthier teeth and bones, and that's a lie. The more milk you drink, the more likely you are to develop osteoporosis. I can't speak to the dental aspect of it, but I can to the bone aspect of it. Chicken eggs have the same protein that chickens have. If we know that the more animal protein you consume, the more likely you are to develop a lot of illnesses like we've been talking about. The same is true for the egg. So the egg and the chicken are the same thing. One's in a shell and one's not, right? And we drink this and we eat these products that come from the udder of a cow. No other species on the planet does this. We are consuming cow's milk like we're baby cows trying to get fat.
The breast milk of another species. We're drinking the breast milk of another species. Just think about that sentence.
Right. Our bodies are not designed to handle that stuff.
No, that's true. That's true. I know we're going to break in a second. I just wondered, Valerie's been, the lady that we were talking to with the keto diet and everything, she's a type 2 diabetes, and she does fall on and off the keto, which would kind of, it's very difficult to stay on it because it isn't sustainable. But Chrissy's got the most fantastic story, going plant-based. Dr. Gilmore himself was pre-type 2 diabetic and got rid of his type 2 diabetes by adopting a plant-based whole food diet. I know about 8 or 9 people that were type 2 diabetics who cured themselves by going plant-based. I met a whole heap of vegans this summer, and their impetus wasn't little bunny rabbits and little sweet animals and all the animal rights bit. It was, I am so sick, I'm so sick of being sick, what can I do? Research. And they came to become vegans, and then raw vegans, they're going more and more into the health. So maybe when we come back, you can talk about meds and sugar levels and going plant-based for diabetics.
We can talk about diabetes, and we can talk about the big myth that's out there. Yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah, so that you can understand it, Valerie, and others that watch this, because I know type 2 diabetes is like a pandemic. It's absolutely everywhere. I know so many people who are getting to that, and the way they get to that state and how you can get yourself out of that state. Dr. Gilmore himself, right here, right now, was pre-type 2 diabetic. He changed his eating habit, and he just kicked that away forever from his life. Okay, so we'll kick off with that when we come back. Hi, course, sweetheart. I don't know if you've just come on, but we're about to break. Please, all you absolute gorgeous lovelies that are on, do come back in about 5 minutes.
5 minutes, and Beverly, post that again when we get back, okay?
Okie dokes. We'll talk about that when we come back. All right then, see you in a mo.